Hi, and welcome to episode 77 of Tennis Volley Talk. Hey, today on the phone interview here, I have uh, another Elk River standout tennis player, Dawn Peterson. Last week's kind of a continuation of this, and she has a little bit more history of it too, and all that. So, with that, Don, welcome to my tennis podcast, Tennis Volley Talk. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. And Brian, thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be on Tennis Volley Talk.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule today and everything. But so yeah, like I was just saying previous, that I had a friend of yours that you played with for many years. Jim McGibbon, and he was a Elk River boy, grew up in Elk River and got into tennis when he did, and then played through that, and then he gave me your name, and then you grew up in Elk River. You were a Minnesota girl too, Elk River girl all the way, or did you move from somewhere to Elk River?
When I was young, we lived in Wayzata, and then we moved to Elk River, and I met Jim the first time was at the ice rink, the Elk River Ice Gardens. He was playing hockey, and at that time, I was also playing girls hockey. They had just started a girls hockey league. So from there, it went on to, okay, let's see what, tennis.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I didn't have any background in tennis at all.
Sure.
And our family ended up moving, and we were building a house in Sherburne County in Elk River, and they rented a house 3 blocks down from the Bailey tennis court, which was the only tennis court at the time in Elk River. And so everybody would come to the Bailey's court and start hitting balls, and that's where I started playing tennis, and it was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you kind of start playing, it takes a little bit, but that tennis bug then just hits you all of a sudden, and then you're hooked. In wanting to hit that ball and try to get better. And okay, I hit it, but I wasn't hitting good, but then I better start trying to hit that ball better. So I'm going to have to get out there and hit more with these people.
Right. And it was great because you would go down to Bailey's court, and everybody would be watching, and there'd be people playing, and you would just watch the players playing. And then if you were lucky enough to step in and get that other spot on the court, then you got to start hitting. And it was welcome to everybody in the community. And I was very, very fortunate that the guys took me under their wings, both Jim McGibbon and Tim Bailey. They would always hit with me whenever I would come down there. They were down there. Otherwise, I would always be hitting against that backboard down at Bailey's. Mm-hmm. And it was just, like I said, you just get hooked, and then you just go, okay, I'm going to run down to Bailey's and see if it's empty and if I can hit on the backboard or if somebody's down there to hit with me. So it was really great. And, Jim and Tim, like I said, they took me under their wing, and, we started playing, and it was great.
Oh, that is so great, because I kind of started out almost in the same way back in my tennis started back in junior high, somewhere about 68 or so, 69 or so, right in that area, and went out to the high school courts and then found the old guys that were there and learned on the white cement court. And said, okay, well, then let's play. And so all the old guys at the court at the time kind of took me and my doubles partner that I had at the time or played tennis with. They took us under their wing, and we played constantly all the time. White cement tennis court, chain link fence, yellow painted lines. You learned how to play on fast courts, though, too, back then. But that was a fun time in the respect of that, because of us being the young kids, and they taking us under their wing and start playing with us. And that just kind of exponentially grew. and then just kept the tennis bug going. Like you said, just want to get out, hit with somebody, hope somebody's out there I can hit with them. I don't care who it is, but I'm going to hit with them.
And it was great because it wasn't, like I said, everybody that was playing tennis, they would come down to Bailey's, and one person would get off the court, and then you would, if you were lucky, you got to jump in and you got to start hitting with whoever was down there. So you got to play with so many different people, and I was so lucky because I was playing with the guys. There wasn't another girl that was playing at that time, and so I really am very, very fortunate about that. So I got to learn how to. You always had to hit hard, and that's what we learned how to do. And Jim taught me my serve, and my serve was one of my strongest points throughout my tennis career. And all it was practicing and having people help you, and it was such a great. It was a great environment down there.
Oh, I'm sure it was. And especially being learning the game of tennis and having the opportunity, because at times I think it's really a learning and better, in a sense, an opportunity when a girl gets to hit with guys, because they're going to learn how to hit the ball harder. And then when they go to play the girls, they're hitting the ball so much harder that the girls just don't know what to do whenever they're coming across somebody that can hit the ball hard.
Yeah. And then in my junior year, it was still, we didn't have a girls tennis team in Elk River. And I was fortunate enough to have, Coach Marty Tracy. He went to bat with me with the, sports director, athletic director at Elk River High School, and said, Dawn would like to play on the boys' team. Marty saw no problem in that, and they said, okay, let's put her on the team. So there I was the first girl on boys' sport team in Elk River, and it worked out well because all of the guys that were on the team were all guys that I had been playing with, and then helped me develop into the player that I was.
Oh,
so
sure.
It was a really easy transition, and we never had problems with, there's a girl on our team or something like that.
Yeah.
They were all so supportive.
Oh,
all
absolutely.
The guys on the team were just so supportive.
Yeah. And nobody knew the difference back then. Girl playing on the team, what? She's keeping up.
Exactly.
She's keeping up with us, so she can hit good.
Yeah, it was good. They didn't like it when the girl beat them, though, but that's just part of it,
That's true.
And it was nothing was made of it, if I did have a great match or whatever and won, but everybody just was so encouraging to each other. All we wanted to do is we all wanted to get better.
Yes.
And we ended up, Charlie Anderson was also one of the coaches that would come through. He had already previously coached the men's team, but he was a big help in anybody's tennis in Elk River by giving us opportunities to go hit different places, go with him, learn some things. We'd go down and he would give us lessons down at Parade Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
He would come to Elk River and we'd hit, and it was just, like I said, it was a great environment, just a learning environment for everybody.
Oh, I'm sure. And being able to go to different venues to hit on a different tennis court too and everything. So that makes it nice and everything. I just kind of stumbled across now here in Minneapolis over on Cowan Avenue. For those of you that don't know, that's a part of Minneapolis, but I stumbled across 2 now public green clay tennis courts.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're public, so anybody can play on them. So
wow.
And they've maintained it. They even have the score tabs that keep the score of the games and how many sets you won. And they have the sweepers that you sweep the court after you're done and sweep the lines off, and then ready for the next person to hit on the clay courts. And two beautiful clay courts So it does make it kind of enjoyable. If you ever get back, you should look those up and hit on them too.
Oh, I would love to. You know, I usually get back once a year.
Oh, sure.
You know, and I try to hit with both, you know, Jim and Stu and Tim, and just try to find them if they're around. So,
oh, sure.
Yeah, we always have a good laugh. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, actually, this weekend is the famous Elk River tennis tournament that is going to be in its, I think, 53rd year right now. That's coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Well, Friday mixed doubles, and then, you know, I just wish I could have found a mixed doubles, but that's kind of hard to find. Unless you want to travel really quick and be a mixed doubles partner.
No, I've got other things that I've got on my schedule right now. It sure would be fun to just come and watch.
Oh, yeah.
The last time I played in it was a few years ago, a few years back, and Jim asked me if I wanted to play mixed doubles with him, and I did, and I ended up playing with both Tim and Jim in that tournament.
Oh, sure.
And like I said, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it was, you know, and plus then they have the mixed doubles on Friday, and then of course then the singles on Saturday and doubles on Sunday. So, but the kind of the nice thing is too is how it's run now with Randy Ronning, and you know Randy. I've known Randy for about 30 years, but he kind of took it over, you know, prior to when Jim kind of started it, the whole thing with a few people. And then kind of exponentially, it's kind of growing over the years, and then that other people have taken it over. And now I kind of like the format is good because you don't want to have it long regular sets, and they put it down to no ad, which does cut it, and it gets the matches done quicker for you in a sense. So makes the day go by to have singles for the one day and doubles for the next day.
Yeah, no, it's Jim and I put on the first Elk River tournament. I remember that.
Okay.
Together, we got it together.
Sure.
And then eventually, I believe Stu took over the tournament.
All right.
That one, Stu McGibbon took over the tournament at a certain time. And then Randy, I met Randy when I was in college playing. He had a tournament over at St. Francis.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time that I had met Randy. And I also met Marla Stoquist, who ended up, I played in some tournaments in the summer with her. She played for St. Francis. And her daughter, Leah, just went to the state tournament this past season with the Elk River girls team, which was, you know, it just continues, you know. It just, I was really excited for her. And she became a really nice player also. So.
Oh, sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. With growing up and doing and being there, and of course, then you know so many good tennis players have actually, surprisingly enough, have come out of Minnesota, and people just don't kind of think, well, hell no, where do you find time to play tennis in Minnesota? Well, you either got the inside courts or you have to get a lot of playing in the 3 months that it's really nice here.
Yeah, it is just really, it was really fun. When I was playing at St. Cloud, I was also teaching figure skating and power skating for the Youth Hockey Associations.
Okay.
And I ended up having Ginger Helgeson as a student of mine when she was like 9 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And about, what was it, like 6 years older? She ended up being, state champion, and she went on to play in the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Both she and her brother.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, tennis, you develop all of these relationships and friendships. And I was so excited to see, you know, her playing at that level. So that was fun.
Oh, yeah. And then we have the likes of Marty Fish and then David Wheaton and, you know, some of those guys. And then plus the dynamic, such wonderful personality, Bethany Maddox-Sands. Just you know, that amazing in itself to have that kind of a tennis players coming from a state like Minnesota and everything too. But it's then they've always had very, very good success too. So that is a good thing too. And but then with that, then you getting that tournament started and everything. Now, about did they actually? Uh, when did the high school actually build the old courts that they had at the high school over where it's now a parking lot? About what year was that they built those?
I believe that was during my junior year, which would have been 74,
Okay.
73, 74, I think.
Okay.
Because then they also built the Elk River Ice Gardens, which was called, they've torn that down now, was right next to the courts. And that's when I believe they were built, because we were all so excited that we were going to have 4 courts, I think it was, that they brought in. And all of us were just like, wow. And and I believe that's when they were built.
Okay. And then later on, they kind of added on 8 more courts or whatever on there. But now that facility that they've done is absolutely a beautiful facility there in Elk River. 4 lighted courts and then 12 other courts altogether, something like that. But what a nice way it's set up, and how you can see the tennis being played is just great now at the new courts.
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to go by and see them, and they are beautiful. What a facility. It's just, I'm just glad to see how the growth of the sport, it just kept growing and growing, and it still is. And, there's been a lot of successes with the kids, in the programs. So, our first girls team was 74, 75, and that was also my senior year. So
sure.
I only had 1 year, as a team member on the girls' team, but it was really a lot of fun. Oh, sure, absolutely. And then with that, and then you went on to college, and then through those years of college and being able to be and play, good like that in college, and having the college experience, did you and staying in college and playing tennis? A lot of tennis pros went to college, stayed in college, like John Isner or Danielle Collins, and they say that was invaluable with being able to deal with having the team camaraderie there at college. But then it kind of taught them with, as when they went to meets and everything like that, people all around and screaming, and teammates screaming and other people screaming and all of that. They kind of got used to that noise. So they were kind of used coming into a crowd and people making noise in it. And they just concentrated because that's what they had to do. No, it was really, the transition was really fun. I ended up going to St. Cloud. I was going to be teaching there also through the figure skating club and with youth hockey, and I had to try out with Dee Whitlock. She was the coach there. I remember hitting with her in Hollenbeck, and she was like, "We would really love to have you come, and we'd love to have you on the team." And I said, "Well, thank you." And I also had been playing with Ellie Peden. She had given me some lessons, and she was down at the U, and Ellie had said, "Well, why don't you come to the U to play?" And it was just like, the choice I made was going to St. Cloud because I had, other things that I'd be doing up there. And it was great because I ended up playing, a lot of the girls that were, that I first played that first year, like, Peggy Chudich was playing for the U, and she played at Anoka, and she was the #1 singles during my senior year. I lost to her in the district, and she went on to win the state title, which was fantastic. And then I ended up playing against her when I was in college. It was really fun, meeting her again. She also played on the Anoka boys team.
Oh, wow.
As a doubles team with her brother. And they were very successful at the state tournament. It was always fun meeting, some of the other players that you had met, just throughout college. And my college team, we had a great camaraderie with everybody. And it was, it's a different format. Instead of playing, 3 singles and 2 doubles like you did in high school, now you're playing 6 singles and 3 doubles.
Oh my!
And just the combinations that the coach would come up with it was always so interesting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Dee Whitlock did a great job as far as our team at St. Cloud, and we ended up doing really well at the time. There was 21 college teams in the state of Minnesota, and they had, let's see, what was it? They were divided into large college and small college.
Okay.
And in order to go to the state tournament as a team, you had to qualify being in points in the top 4. And all 4 years that I was at St. Cloud, we were able to play in that state tournament. So that was really special to us. And we ended up 2nd, 3rd, and, of course, the University of Minnesota won every year, but that was okay. We would have our wins, with them, but they were playing the Big Ten, and they were a very strong team.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And plus to be able to, be in the running for 4 years for a smaller college out there competing with the big colleges, to be in the running, that way. For the 4 years, made it, I'm sure made it just that much more spectacular for you too.
Yeah, it's just like, you'd go to the state tournament and you'd go, oh, I've got Marnie Wheat in the first draw.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You're just kind of going, oh, well, but you know what, everybody, played their hardest, and they, we all were just like so encouraged by everyone. And at the time, again, it was still Title IX. We girls sports were just really coming on more and more. And as a player at St. Cloud, there were no scholarships given to female athletes. But we did get grants. So if you would get a small grant to come and play, which was really fun. And then afterwards, of course, then the scholarship thing came in. But it was, like I said, it was always a building. The girls' sports programs were always building. And look at today. I mean, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see, what the girls' team have turned into.
So, and you mentioned that you come back and try to visit Elk River, but you ended up in where? Idaho?
Yes. I live in Sun Valley, Wood River Valley area, Idaho, which is, a resort area. I came here the first time in 1978 because I was a figure skater.
Oh, sure.
And my coach at the time was Dick Braw, and he ran the Dick Braw hockey schools, but he was also a national figure skater at one time. I asked Dick, I go, I really want to go up my gold skating test, and he said, well, Dawn, I spent some time in Sun Valley, and he said, I think you should go there.
Yeah.
And so I came out here in 78, and then after I finished college and skated with the Ice Volleys, then came to Sun Valley and moved here in 1980.
Oh, I'm sure. And I bet you that's such a tranquil, nice, beautiful country up there in Idaho. Beautiful, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now, I traded the lakes for the mountains.
There you go.
That's kind of how I look at it. And I just love the West. But I do, I love everything I did in Minnesota and went to school and everything. But Idaho is my home now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So.
And I've heard, Sun Valley, I've heard that before for a training facility of some sort. Through the years that I've heard it occasionally mentioned. Yeah, Sun Valley, Idaho, a great, training place to go, if you want to do different things, and cross train, run up the mountains or run the trails up there and get you in shape and all that stuff, plus training facilities that they have there too. as far as that, I've heard of it before, and I've always wondered about that.
Well, we're really known for incredible group of skiers. Gretchen Fraser was the first gold in 1948 from Sun Valley. I mean, she skied in Sun Valley, and then we had Chris Cooper, we had Peekaboo Street from here. We had the Patterson family. We've had a lot of incredible downhill skiers.
Sure.
And then we've got a great cross-country program here also. And the figure skating program is, we've had, different world and national competitors come and do ice shows on the weekend during the summer.
Oh, sure.
And it's just it's a great environment for all the events. Problem is that there's so many distractions. You want to do things, you only have time to do,
True.
If you're focused, on one thing. Sometimes kind of harder to focus on just one sport. But,
sure. Sure.
We just enjoy everything.
Yeah. And then plus a few tennis courts scattered throughout the city somewhere in there, and makes it kind of nice.
We have great tennis facilities. We have great park department. We also have private courts. So we have, we've got there's a lot of things to do. It's just that you don't have time to do everything you want to do. So.
That kind of makes sense with that actually too. Now, also you coming from Wayzata, did you ever know or try or take lessons from Frank Voigt, that was the tennis pro at Wayzata Club?
No, we moved when I was in third grade.
Oh, okay.
So I hadn't started tennis.
Oh, sure.
I skated at the Ice Center in Golden Valley.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I went over to Braemar City Figure Skating Club. So I skated Dinah. So I didn't know anyone in the tennis world.
Okay.
So I started hitting in Elk River. So.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny because from the Wayzata Country Club, I ended up having Frank Voigt was the old pro that was at Wayzata that taught way back in the year, that he actually came from Miami, and he actually taught until way late in his age there, and a wonderful strokes and tennis player, and taught the strokes of tennis and how to approach them. But he actually taught the Kennedys. He taught Ginger Rogers, Fred Astaire, and he hit tennis and taught them. And he was talking about how Ginger Rogers was a really pretty good tennis player. Fred Astaire, he kind of said he was too worried. He didn't want to hurt his feet, so he wasn't as good. So that's kind of a little funny thing too, because I ended up having a racket that he used to make and put his name to it, and then they'd sell it at the Wayzata Club. So that's kind of why I was wondering that. But it's kind of an ironic kind of thing that you would mention that I would have one of his rackets that I came across too that says Wayzata Country Club on it. So got to experience that.
That's really special.
It is. It really is. I think I'm probably going to donate that racket to the club at some point. So then they have, one of his rackets. It's really a modeled after a Jack Kramer frame, but he just put his name to it and the Wayzata sticker to it, and then sold that racket because he was a teacher in the pro shop at Wayzata. So he'd go out and get 100 at a time and then put his name to it, and they'd make it where you'd go to McConnell's tennis shop over on, in Minneapolis, and they had to order them, and he'd go get them and put them up there, and they'd sell them at the Wayzata at the tennis shop there. So kind of made a business that way, teaching and selling his rackets.
Yeah, just like Charlie Anderson did, and that's what Charlie did. He would always, okay, if we need a new racket, Charlie knew exactly what he thought we needed, and we would go to his place in Robbinsdale. He lived in Robbinsdale.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget one time when I went over there, and he was always, his house was like a revolving door. And here are two of these people that I thought I recognized, and
Sure.
I recognized them from the Ice Center.
Oh.
And it was the Carlson brothers that were in the movie Slapshot.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie was very, they were staying at his place, because of his connections up in Evelyn, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of fun,
Sure.
that was Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
And his boys were such great tennis players for all the schools that they played for.
Oh, sure.
Won the state tournaments, and it was always fun. It was always fun to go to Charlie's, and he always had the rackets.
Oh, yeah.
Always, he would string rackets.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he did. He was just such a great coach, and he was, he always was so encouraging. Always.
Oh, sure.
One thing he did say to me once, and I'll never forget this, is he goes, I always loved coaching the kids at Elk River.
Oh, yeah.
Because they always had good attitudes and they tried hard.
Oh, yeah.
And I never forgot that.
Oh,
because Charlie was all about attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm. It is. It's all about attitude. And
it was such a great compliment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Everybody, in our community that he worked with.
Yeah.
So.
But isn't it funny how amazing that hockey players have such a good two-handed backhand when they start playing tennis because of their hockey days? And I'm a one-hander. I've never had a two-hander. And it's like I've hit with hockey players, and it's like, where in the heck did he get that? Oh, and some of those two-handed backhands are wonderful from hockey players.
Well, I'm the same with you. I still have a one-handed backhand.
Oh, yes,
and,
yes.
And that's how I never changed.
No.
Went to a two-handed. And it always worked for me, but that was a different era.
Oh, it was.
You've got to always. That's how I categorize all the different sports. It's like, well, that was that era, that period. That was 10 years, and just the change in all the different.
Oh.
The change in the rackets.
Oh,
and,
definitely.
we played with the wood rackets. And,
yeah.
And that was, I loved them.
Oh, I did. Yeah. You had more finesse back then instead of power, but now because of the newer rackets, it's all power now instead of finesse. There is some finesse, but still, it's all power nowadays. And you don't have to have in the string that you use too that gives you the power, gives you the spin, or the way you approach a forehand now is you don't have to put that much power to it because the strings are doing the work, and the spin that you put on it, and it's just like, so I played yesterday and I hit a couple of sets with a friend of mine that plays in Elk River, Rob Small, that has been on my show before too, in-house guest too. Wonderful talking tennis with him because he got the bug and he just loves to play tennis, and that's what I like hearing from him too. So he's been working at his game, and it's surprising he's been working good. So put me through my paces yesterday, even though it was pretty hot and humid out, but then rains came and it kind of cooled down a little bit, but still I still enjoyed getting out there and hitting and trying to get my game better because I got to hit with the young bucks, to get my game better still.
Yeah. It's so true, but it's just no matter when you find the time, it's just great to get out the ball.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. It definitely is. And in so many varied ways that you can approach, and how do you hit the ball now? I'm approaching the forehand a little bit different, hitting it a little bit more harder, serving a little bit more of a different approach, and my serve has gotten better and more consistent. So I feel good about that. I just got to keep improving on the strategy of it. Well, I hit the return, but he caught it right at the baseline backhand, a little chip shot, and came back barely over the net. So why was I watching the parade? I should have hit that ball, and I should have moved in when he hit that shot, because then I would have been there a little easier. But no, I'm sitting there watching the parade and I'm going, oh, now I should go after he hit it. I'm, oh, no, too late. So all that kind of strategy is always, it's there, but it's like the mind in saying, move the body. And you're going, oh, okay, why didn't I move quicker? Because the body didn't want to.
That's why I'm so thankful that I ended up, hitting with the guys when I first started, because, you learn that, okay, that serve is coming and you better do something. You just can't stand and wait around.
No.
But, and it was, and you got the same serve that they were going to give any of the other guys on the team.
Yeah.
So, and you learned how to hit that and get that serve back. And you yourselves learned how to serve. And, Jim had a great serve.
Oh, he did.
And he really helped me with that. And so did Charlie. I'll never forget, we were down at parade one day and Charlie put these, spots out on the court. And he goes, all right, you've got to serve until you hit each one of those 3 times.
No.
It's like, I don't know if you ended up hitting each of them 3 times. All I know is that serving the whole time.
Right.
But, he just his teaching technique was so wonderful.
Yeah. And later on, you kind of took that, and because then later on with him doing that with you, you could hit your spots, and people didn't know where you were serving because you could hit your spots.
Right.
And you're going, oh, wow, is that what that was all about?
Exactly. And especially, carrying it over, as far as, when we went from high school into playing at St. Cloud, especially in the doubles, I didn't have the opportunity to play doubles because I played number 1 singles all the time. Sure. So when I got to college, and now I'm looking at their whole game, having a strong service with such, I can tell you how much that helped in the doubles. And
I'm sure.
Of the tennis up there.
Oh, I'm sure it helped that much more better with the volleys and learning the volley too, with the doubles too, and especially with the, the YouTubers out there too. I just want to kind of make a mention that be sure and subscribe, like, and make a comment on the Tennis Volley Talk. But you podcasters, we'll be seeing the racket of the day pretty soon. So if you do want to take a look at the racket that I'm going to be showing, be sure to go to my Tennis Volley Talk on YouTube. So, and like, subscribe, and comment if you like. But with that too, in going into that, with learning the volley part of it, and then doubles kind of does help you with this volley and singles too, because you get to kind of learn to move move faster with the doubles pace and everything too.
Just keep your feet moving.
Yeah. True. Keep the feet moving. Don't get caught flat-footed, which I have many times done. I'm going, why did I do that? But with that, it's just such a pleasure in having you and being able to talk tennis with you today, and in learning about you and your growing up in tennis, which I always like doing with people, because with that, people may hear and may be inspired to get out on the tennis court some way or another. That's why I do this for my podcast on YouTube. And I just, it's so fun to be able to do this with different people that I've actually had phone calls with too.
No, I really appreciate just the opportunity to talk to you, and just keep on doing what you're doing. It's just anytime we can promote this great game and have some people enjoy it as much as we have, and, just all the different friendships that I've made, through tennis.
Oh, sure.
And, it's invaluable.
It is. So, it's invaluable with the friends and the knowledge that you gather, and the camaraderie and the passion, that we have for this game, which is really wonderful. And again, Dawn, I do thank you for taking the time out of your day for having this interview with me. I so appreciate it. And maybe, hey, sometime when you come back to Elk River, I may get a chance to meet you then.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. So again, thank you so much for having me, and good luck with all of your tennis volley talk.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and be sure promote that. If tennis people that you see, promote it through that, and let them know about it so they can take a look at it.
I sure will.
All right. Well, thank you again, Dawn, and you have a great day out there.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Well, that was it. So I hope that you did like that. But now today, with this, you YouTubers, you're going to take a look at Racket of the Day. And so today's racket. And then you podcasters, if you want to take a look at it, you can go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, comment, like, subscribe, and you YouTubers like, subscribe, comment. But what this is actually called the Harvard racket from Harvard. And it's actually guaranteed trademark Summers. That was some kind of a sporting goods store, I think in New York somewhere. Now, this is actually a convex racket, not a concave like this, concave, but this is the convex. So this is right around about the 1920s, in the earlier 1900, 1920, a little later in the 20s, early 20s, 22, 23, something like that. Gut string again like this, very, very good wood on it still with the racket, very good wood. It could be a hardwood like ash or something of that nature. So I'm not really sure. But as far as that goes, with that, but it's a very good, still a very sturdy racket though for its age and stuff. So with that, take a look at it. Go to my YouTubers. I'm glad that you like my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk. Subscribe, like, comment. And you podcasters, if you want to take a look at the Harvard racket from Harvard. Anyway, that's probably one of the brand names that they had for that kind of racket at the time. Different names for the rackets. So with that, go to my YouTube channel if you want to take a look at what I'm talking about here with the Harvard racket. Still a very good shaped racket too. So go to there and like, subscribe, and make a comment. But thank you very much for I hope you did like the over the phone interview. So everybody, this week, you have a great week in playing tennis. Get out there, play, and have a good week. Thank you very much, and talk to you next week.